However, they're normally just guarantee that you'll be called Dumbo at least once before age 10. And just in case you thought we'd forgotten, this magnificent specimen over here is this week's winner of the 2,000 Rand Rugged Wear voucher. Thank you for joining us for another episode of A Wild Bush Week. Remember, while the world is busy doom-scrolling and binge-watching the latest drama from whichever housewives, we're here bringing you the real deal. Pure, untamed, unfiltered reality straight from the African bush. So keep riding with us on safari as we chase down these extraordinary moments live. I'll leave you with an African proverb. Rain beats the leopard's skin, but it does not wash out the spots. And if you don't have spots, well, do with that what you will. Until next time, stay wild, stay curious, and good night.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live at the waterhole. And look, the muddy puddles. This makes me smile at Tembe Elephant Park. They have these beautiful individual muddy puddles back again after some rain. I really enjoy this. Hello, my name is Kelly, and I'm going to be with you for the next couple of hours. We will be cruising the cameras, chewing the cud, seeing what we have out and about today. Please do remember that the best part of the show is everyone that is joining us, so do feel free to get in touch. If you haven't done so before, make today the day. I love hearing all the new names and all the new locations where everyone is watching from. You can get in touch with us using any of the methods on your screen: WhatsApp, X, Facebook, Instagram, or on the @Wild Earth YouTube channel. Please do subscribe. Starting off with these elephants, I had a question yesterday that I did not and could not answer. Well, I could have answered it, but I don't think it would have been correct. About elephant gametes. And the question was, are elephant gametes bigger than other gametes? And gametes are reproductive cells, basically, so sperm and eggs. And I said, and I thought out loud for a little while, as I do, and I decided not to guess. So the results are in. And no, lots of mammal gametes are about the same size. The largest eggs are of an ostrich, unsurprisingly, and the largest sperm is actually a fruit fly. So isn't nature amazing? Lots of things affect gamete size. Often reproductive strategy is one of them. So no, elephants do not have enormous gametes. Hello Duncan, good afternoon, good afternoon. You are up and running. Same here, all is well. Little mild tech panic just before the show, but we have got it sorted, which is excellent news. James Hottam, hello. Thank you very much for being here, James Hottam. Hello, back to you. The voice of the waterhole. I think that's brilliant. James Hottam, thank you very much for being here. So if you haven't contacted us live here before, please do so. I can faithfully assure you we will get through as many of your questions and comments and hellos as possible. I do love hearing from everyone, and I faithfully promise that I will not do sneaky cheeky lookups. We all know that we have so much information at our fingertips these days. But I do actually really enjoy giving myself homework. It's a great learning opportunity. Some of the questions and thoughts that come through really do get me thinking about things that I hadn't considered before. And as I always like to say, this is a discussion and not a lecture. The day someone thinks they know everything about all the stuff is a very sad day indeed. This makes me happy seeing these elephants with their personal pools. Again, they do dry up, but I think I've seen sort of 5 or 6 of them sometimes stood around these individual splash pools. I wonder if they probably have actually. I was going to say I wonder if they've got preferred ones, but they probably have. There's no reason they wouldn't have. Elephants are incredibly emotive or emotionally intelligent, and there's no reason they wouldn't have a preferred puddle in the same way that if we go into a bathroom at work or at the gym, we often use the same one. It's just the way we like it. And I'm sure these elephants do too. I would love to see a discussion around, excuse me, I think you'll find you're in my pool. Times of plenty. I must admit I have decided to do this from outside again today, so I may be a little distracted, but there was two woodpeckers here yesterday, and I'm fairly sure they were bearded woodpecker. And then I checked my bird list. We had a long discussion about bird lists yesterday, and they weren't on there for this area. So I'm going to stalk the woodpeckers today and see if they come back so I can double check them. Forest. Brilliant question. Can any animals recognise themselves in a mirror? That's really interesting. There have been lots of studies done. Whether or not it's recognising themselves or as something, I can't remember off the top of my head. But Forest, it's straight in, out the gate. I'm going to do some reading around that because I think that's absolutely fascinating. But I do have to write it down first, otherwise I'm going to forget. Mirror animals I'm going to put, and I'll remember that. Forest, come back. I think I'm not here tomorrow, but the following day I will definitely hand in that homework because that is a fascinating topic that I would be very keen to get into on a personal level. Let's go across to a brand new camera somewhere in Botswana. I'm not entirely sure where, but maybe we will get an update. A little flaggy in the corner. But let's see what we've got. Ooh, Kalahari salt pan. I've almost lost track of how many cameras. I think the last time I asked it, FC, there was like 42 or something. It is racing up in numbers. Look, oh, this is a lovely one. Look at these zebras splashing in there for their drinks. Oh, I've got a... Can you hear that? That's a frog here somewhere. That little phone nest. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't do this outside. It's very distracting. I don't know if you can hear my froggy. I've just got a little froggy started calling. Sage, you are asking, why do African elephants sometimes kill rhinos or hippos when they don't eat them? It's because they, not because they can, that's a bit harsh. If they consider them to be a threat, I don't think it's not super common. It does happen. but it's not super common. I know elephants are very possessive of. That frog is really loud. They are super possessive of water, so it could be from a protection of water aspect if they see them as a threat to their space or their resources. I don't think it's a super common occurrence though. I've never seen an elephant even. I've seen them sort of move towards them a few times, and I think I've seen elephants chase rhinos away from water maybe 2 or 3 times, but that's in my entire career. So I don't think it's super common, but we often see things online. If someone does get a clip of it, it will be circulated widely, so it might appear to be more common than it actually is. Can you hear that frog there on my microphone? I apologise. Violet. Oh, okay, you can hear my frog. I apologise. I don't. These zebras have finished up their drink. Let's go across to King's Camp. I think we might have a monitor there. But Violet, that frog is really distracting. I'll definitely do the show from inside next time. There's too much life here. Oh, hello. Oh, you little fatty lizard. What have you got? Violet, I'm going to answer your question. Why are there different species of zebras if they have the same makeup and social structure? It's DNA, basically. Speciation is decided on DNA. So if it's different DNA, different species. Let's see. Look at this. Oh, look, he's eating. That is so cool. Look, he's eating all those termites. They're alates that look like they've probably emerged after the rain. We did get a bit of rain here last night. That is an absolute feast. These termites, people often don't realise just how important these smaller aspects of ecosystems are, and these alates or winged termites that emerge after the rain, the princes and princesses of the termite kingdom, they're a vital part of nutrition and the food chain for so many animals. Look how close that monitor is to that terrapin. They're almost touching. That tail is touching that terrapin, and it still didn't move. Huh. But this is a veritable feast. Look how rotund this lizard is, full of those delicious alates. Wildlife lady, hello, good morning. Good morning to you too. Looking forward to seeing what we can find at the waterholes. See, look, all these wings have dropped, and they won't. None of these animals will be particularly focused on the wings. The nutrition and the protein and the delicious goodness is in those chunky fat bodies of those termites. Recycled Teenager UK, hello. Welcome, thank you for joining us from West Sussex in England. Oh, we've got some elephants arriving. Wow, look how green this is. My friend used to go to agricultural college in, was it West Sussex or East Sussex? I can't remember. Grace79, yeah, sorry about my frog. He got quite vocal just then, but I sort of tapped the side of the chair and he's gone quiet. So apologies, apologies for frog intrusion. What a pleasure, though. What an absolute joy to be sharing all this. Oh, look at that little one! That little one just shoved his face straight down in the water. No, not messing about with trunks. Yes, Grace, you were saying my froggy was trying to explain what was going on the cameras. Absolutely. I love this time of year. Everything gets so vocal. Where's that little one at the back? He just bundled straight in there and stuck his face in the water. Elephants do find it quite difficult to manipulate those incredibly muscular trunks properly when they're little, so no time for that. I'll just drink through my mouth. Hazel. Zebras have been filmed gently nuzzling and grooming dying or injured herd members for hours. Do they understand death? Again, very, very good question. I guess the question is, how do we know what they understand? Unfortunately, I don't know if we're ever sort of... We've done lots of brain scans on lots of animals to see which areas of the brain light up during different things, or we've seen the light up areas of animal brains if they're frightened or if they're shown food or those sorts of things, but it doesn't really allow us to understand what they believe, if you know what I mean. Unfortunately, it would be amazing if we did. So do they realise that family member is sick or not coming back? It's very, very difficult to answer. Do animals mourn? Absolutely. Or do they behave as if they're feeling sad? If a member dies, then yes, absolutely, but I don't know if we're ever really going to know if they understand it. Maybe one day. What an absolute joy! All these guys rocked up while we were watching a monitor eating Alex. Benny, you're asking how are Komodo dragons different from water monitor lizards? Again, it's DNA structure. They've got different DNA. They've got some physically different attributes, regional differences. It's almost like saying, how is a gecko different from a lizard, or a frog different from a toad? It's just different species, different species of a similar family group, similar reptile. Violet, another great question. Talking about elephants here, you are asking, can elephant matriarchs pass on cultural knowledge? Oh, I like your questions, Violet. These are excellent. E.g., which humans are dangerous, where secret waterholes are, in the same way that human elders pass on traditions. In my opinion, 100%. Absolutely. Without digging around and looking them all up, I can't currently give you... Well, there's been records of... I think there's been records of elephants passing through minefields, using particular paths. You could argue, could they smell them, or those sorts of things, but there's been multiple records of elephants learning routes, learning areas. I think some of it, much of it, is probably passed down from generation to generation. Are we going to get a little straggler baby in this water that doesn't want to get out of the pool? Happens often. They got in, had their drink, and now they're going to disperse and go about their day. I wonder if our monitor's still there. See, I actually had some I just had some friends over from England, and they went and did a self-driving Kruger, which I enjoy immensely. And I enjoy, as much as seeing the things, I was trying to explain to them that it's the, look, and now they're gone. I know that monitor's still there, but we're so lucky that we have this camera. But if we had been a guest at King's Camp and we'd been sitting in the hide for 3 hours and we needed to use the bathroom, and we went off to use the bathroom, make a cup of coffee and come back, never would have known those elephants have been there. That's where I find my joy now. It's the lack of control, it's the lack of ability to predict, it's the luck. If you want to experience things like this, then do come and connect. Have a look on Wild Earth Travel and you can experience things like this as well. But it's like in the Kruger Park, I was explaining to them, at some of the private reserves, you can follow lions through the bush if you ethically follow them off-road. But in some places, something crosses the road and it's gone. Just like these elephants, look, that was 5 minutes, 7 minutes. And it's like they were never there. That is such a cool sighting. Everything just goes about its life. Nothing to do with us. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Wow, Sage, you're really getting into it. Can elephants plan for a future they know they might not live to see? That's hardcore animal effect or mammalian effect and neuroscience stuff. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that, Sage. I'm thinking. Could they plan in the respect of, would they go to an area knowing that the rains were going to that area? Oh no, I don't know. I'll get completely lost in that. Brilliant question though, Sage. I love how you and Violet are thinking about the deeper aspects of animal behaviour and emotion. That's you're on my vibe. Net Nanny, never get tired of watching elephants and melanistic marble. Lovely elephant family, very thirsty. They're so fascinating to watch, Net Nanny. I like that, the way that little one just steamed in and, I'm thirsty, I'm just gonna drink like this, all this messing about with trunks. You're gonna pop, lizard. You keep eating all those Alex. But yeah, as I was saying, they're an incredibly important source of protein, source of nutrition for so many animals, from lizards. There's been records of leopards eating termites, and birds. It's amazing how nature provides in different ways. Let's go across to, we've got another location in Botswana I'd like to have a look at, but those termites, they're absolutely full, they're packed with protein and goodness. So yeah, I'm wondering how long this monitor is going to be hanging around stuffing his face.
Oh, wow. Oh, even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word. She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. Whoa. This is action-packed.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have 2 boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my 2 boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them.
Morning everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Wow, that was amazing everybody.
How cool is this?
Okay, I'm going to start there. Mr. Elemental, it's gone. I think it was a rock monitor, Mr. Elemental, that was feeding on those termites. They're often, I go on the shape of the snout normally. I think it was, but if we go back there, I will double check for you. Phoenix Hodge, you are asking, how old is the lizard and how can I tell? I don't know, Phoenix Hodge, and I can't tell. Size-wise, it wasn't a baby, and they do grow. Do they stop growing? I don't know, Phoenix Hodge. I'm not even sure what the lifespan of a rock monitor is. I've got my reptile book here though, so I can. Oh no, I haven't. I don't even know what the lifespan of a rock monitor would be. I've got a feeling it's relatively long. But no, Phoenix Hodge, the way I would tell how old an animal is, unless I saw it born or being born and had it tagged and was monitoring it, would be on behaviour, size, body shape. So if something is on its own instead of with a group, sometimes that can be a difference in sign of age, of maturity. Body condition can decrease as animals get older, but I could guess at how old that monitor lizard was, but it would be a complete guess, so I'm not going to. Iris, another brilliant question. Wow. You're saying, I've never actually heard this. In hippos, you're saying mothers keep their newborn calves underwater for the first few minutes after birth, only letting them surface when they're strong enough to breathe. I've never heard that, Iris. And your question is, how does the mother decide the exact moment the baby is ready? I've got absolutely no idea. Probably instinct, but I don't know. I can't answer that, because that could also be dependent on how healthy the baby was. If the baby was born strong or not strong, would a mother hippo have the ability to assess that? I've never heard that though, Iris. Yeah, I'm not saying it's incorrect, but I'm gonna I'm going to put that on my homework list. Hippo, baby, underwater. My exciting reading for the evening. Thank you for that, Iris. This is a beautiful big pod of hippos here, but they are looking pretty relaxed here in the middle of the basin at Celinda Reserve. So let's go across to I think it was another Botswana camera. I can't keep up with all these cameras. This is absolutely crazy, but I think we've got some nice birds there to have a look at. Camphor's Dam, look at these flamingos. I've been following a story recently of an escaped flamingo in England, and it's made me smile. He's got a name and everything. If anyone can help me out on what his name is, please do. But I've seen a story of a flamingo that, despite having clipped wings, he flew out of somewhere or got out of somewhere, and he's been seen off the coast of France, and it's made me very happy. So please feel free to share that name with me. I think we might have lost our fabulous flamingos there, but please do, if you haven't heard the story, please have a look at the escaped flamingo. I can't remember his name. Violet, again, brilliant. This is true. In drought years, hundreds of hippos cram into shrinking pools and almost never fight despite lethal crowding. Why does their usual aggression vanish under extreme stress? You've almost answered it. They're under extreme stress. They're just trying to stay wet enough to not die. The last thing they need is to be chomped by one another as well. They just need to try and conserve as much energy as they can to stay alive, basically. In those very high stress environments, many animals will just try and stay alive. Daisy, hello. You are asking, how similar are domestic dogs in behaviour to wild dogs? There are similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. Dogs are not wolves, but our domestic dogs are not wolves. That's similar to saying that humans are chimpanzees. There are similarities, but domestic dogs aren't technically pack animals. If you look at free roaming domestic dogs, you'll see they sort of form sort of loose aggregations, and they will shift and it will ebb and it will flow depending on resources and things like that, whereas wild dogs are true pack animals. There's lots of differences between their behaviour. Some of the body languages are the same. Vocalizations are obviously very different, developed along completely different lines. So there's a surprising amount of difference, Daisy. I've just been sent through the story about the flamingo, Frankie the flamingo. I think that's brilliant. If anyone wants to go, well, it's not brilliant. I should be saying, oh, there's an escaped flamingo. That's terrible. So apologies if I'm not saying that. But yeah, if anyone wants to go and have a look at Frankie the flamingo, good on you, Frankie. I don't know if she's managed to be captured yet. Wow, we are getting some absolutely fantastic questions through. Keep them coming, guys. I'm not even looking at these elephants. I'm reading through these questions. I love it. I love it so much. It really gets my brain going, and hopefully everyone else's as well. It's what it's about. I'm just reading through them. I think what we should do because I'm going to be here a while, and sort of in the coming weeks, I think we should all try and work out for ourselves if these elephants do indeed have a favourite puddle. So this elephant has got a very distinctively scraggly ear. I think we should try between us to work out and see if they have their preferences, and maybe even work out why. I love it. Maybe the ones with longer tusks prefer the larger puddles because it's easier for them to get their tusks into or something. Recycled Teenager UK. If a mother elephant dies soon after birth, would a baby elephant be suckled by another mother? That's allosuckling. It's not impossible, but it's not a very common occurrence in elephants. But it's not impossible. And with cameras and things, we are starting to see more and more behaviours that we didn't think happened because we've got more access. We've got more access to footage, we've got more remote ability to record events, and we are seeing more and more things that scientists and people that have been around for a long time are going, never seen that before. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Duncan is asking, do elephants have excess fats? A bit, but you don't in nature. You don't find obese animals in nature. It doesn't really happen. They get sort of plump sometimes, or well-rounded. And elephants will probably carry, I think most wild animals have some sort of insulation fat layer, but I'm too scared to say you'll never see an obese elephant in the wild. And I think I stand by that, because nature just doesn't work like that. But they've probably got a little bit of excess around there for insulation purposes. Mercedes Bean, hello Mercedes Bean. Greetings Wild Earth crew and chatters, happy Saturday. It is Saturday, isn't it? I'd forgotten about that. Days just sort of merge into one another. Phoenix Hodge, okay, you are asking how can you tell how old the elephants are? I'm more likely to be better at that than aging monitor lizards, because I know the approximate life expectancy of elephants. I know their social structure very well. I've watched them for extended periods of time at all ages. I've watched behaviour, but same way I would age an elephant is the same way I would attempt to age a monitor lizard. It's what they are doing. So if you see an elephant on its own, you know there's either something. If it's small, if it's very small, then you know there's a problem. Or if it's, not a tiny baby, you'll know that elephant is probably male. If you see that it's male, it's probably going to be over the age of sort of 10 or 12, because that is often when they leave their maternal herds. But again, it's going to be body size, it's going to be behaviour, it's going to be body condition, it's going to be social structure. Those are the ways that I would use to tell the age of any animal, basically. And the better the better I know the species, or the more time I've spent watching that species, the more likely I am to be able to take a run at how old that animal is. Lee Reardon, thank you. You live in, I think it's Hale, and the flamingo is called Frankie. They've made it to France and is thriving. He can't go back due to risk of avian bird flu. Brilliant, Frankie. Frankie the legend. And good luck to Frankie. I wish Frankie all the best. And it just goes to show it. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. Okay, let's leave these elephants. Sorry, FC, I actually missed where we are going. Oh, okay, we were going to go somewhere with some zebra, but apparently the zebra are no longer present. So we will stay here with these elephants talking about age and intrepid flamingos. Yeah, that makes me smile, that Frankie story. Never give up. A good story of resilience and perseverance. Okay, let's head up to Aldonio. I haven't seen the Aldonio camera for a while, actually. Let's see what developments have been occurring up there at Aldonio. Yeah, thank you for that, Lee. Okay, we are not going to be going to Aldonio. Aldonio camera is just taking a little siesta at the moment, so thank you for that, Lee. That's made me smile. That the Frankie the flamingo is thriving and can't return due to disease concerns. So brilliant. I think that's great. Lola, you're asking, why do some elephant populations use their left tusk and others their right tusk as the dominant one? Yay, we have Aldonio back. We have some, wow, look at all the grass and the giraffes. I didn't think, Lola, that it was necessarily population specific if they used left tusks or right tusks. I've seen elephants in the same herd that appear to have a preference for one or the other. I've always believed it's just preference. It's like being left-handed or right-handed. One is more comfortable than the other. Maybe there is an element of genetics in there. If a baby constantly sees or is encouraged to use a tusk as per the preference of the tusk of their mum or other herd members, then maybe they might be more likely to use that tusk more often, and therefore it becomes dominant. If mum is always showing baby how to, use her favourite tusk to do a job, then maybe baby is more likely to be that tusk dominant. But I didn't realise there were records of populations being left tusked or right tusked. Yeah, James Hotham, nature doesn't have processed foods and everything's full of sugar and chemicals, so obese animals isn't going to happen. No, it's not. Nature is pretty perfect. I think an example I often use is I feel like I can tell from a photo if a lion is a captive lion or a wild lion. Not all the time, don't all test me on it, but I've often glanced at photos that you see online and I've known almost immediately that lion doesn't have a wild lion lifestyle and diet. Nature is perfect, we just keep messing about with it. Oh, drinking giraffe. No, Aldonio is not. Aldonio is not keen on today's Saturday activities. But that's all right, we've got some super zebra here. That's Serengeti Explorer. Cooling off in the shade there. See, lacking in those shadow stripes, the way we see these virtual zebra that are further south. You'll often find horses as well, actually. Horses, zebras will stand nose to tail. A little bit of teamwork to keep flies off noses and faces. My friend that recently visited, I've actually guided her for many years, and her parents visited a few years ago, and her dad does like a good question. Catherine, if you're listening, please say hello to your dad. And his question was, how many times does a zebra swish its tail in a day? And I said, I've got absolutely no idea. So we stopped for a cup of coffee, and I said, there you go, set a stopwatch and time it for 2 minutes and count. And then we had to work through sort of alternative things that could happen. You know, when they're walking, they probably swish less, and I cannot remember what the outcome was. But yeah, I'm not sure what number we got to. Yaku, thank you very much for getting in touch. You are 10 years old. It's lovely to hear from our younger viewers as well. You are our future. You are the future of conservation. So it's great that you're all out there. And please, I'd love to hear from any under 16s today. Send your questions through. You're asking, why do zebras sleep standing up? It's safer, to be honest. And you can see they're not in deep sleeps like we need, Yaku, like us humans do. So yes, if you are under 16, please do hop on today. Send us a message, get in touch, speak to your present adult and find out the best way of contacting us. I would love to hear from you. It's safer, Yaku. It's quite difficult for animals to stay as alert when they're laying down. It takes them longer to run. Baby animals are often a bit different. You will often find baby animals fast asleep. Baby zebras, it wouldn't even surprise me actually in this group. If there is a baby in here, it might be flat in the grass. But adult animals, they don't often sleep flat. Well, you know, lions will. Prey species. But then you go back to cheetahs. Cheetahs don't often sleep flat. And they will often more rest, that very characteristic heads up position of a cheetah. I've got a theory, Yaku, on sleeping animals. I don't know if it's correct. But my theory is in that apart from baby animals that need lots and lots of rest and lots of good sleep because they're still growing and their bodies are growing and their brains are developing, I think humans only need as much sleep as we need because of our lifestyles. We don't need sleep because of, I don't believe we need sleep because of our physical bodies. It's our brains, and it's because of all the stuff we put in our brains, I believe, and our bodies just go we need to power down for a bit. This is just my very own, very personal theory. You don't find animals needing 8 hours sleep a night or 8 hours sleep a day or whatever it is. They nap, they snooze, they rest, they recline, they grab 40 winks here and there. Everything in their brains is instinctive. There's some rationalisation in there, possibly, but it's not like humans. We have to constantly make decisions, and we're bombarded with information and consider things and make choices and make plans and change plans and all these sorts of things. And I believe that our brains just go, nope, enough for today. I've actually just seen an article just this morning about how giraffes manage to survive on 2 hours sleep a night and still remain alert to predators. I haven't read it yet. It actually just came through while I was getting ready for the show, but I'm very keen to read that. Giraffes show a unique fragmented sleep pattern, taking lots of micro naps, and I believe zebras probably do something similar. But great question, Yaku. Thank you for getting in touch. Phoenix Hodge, I'm not sure how long Frankie has been escaped. It's like at least a week, probably more. I've lost track. I lose track of time a little bit. It's a while. If you have a look online though, Phoenix, there's I saw it on social media somewhere, I think. Yeah, it's at least a week or 10 days or so. But yeah, Frankie's cracked it. Recycled Teenager UK. Thank you so much for this question, Recycled Teenager UK. You are asking, let's go over to Menno Agrena before I answer that, Recycled Teenager UK, because I could be going on this for a while. You are asking, with my dog behaviour sessions, who is the hardest to educate, the humans or the dogs? I think we all know the answer to that, don't we? It's animals, and this is why it's been a natural progression for me to start helping people with their pets. And animals are actually quite simple. He's in this water because he's hot, he's putting some water on his skin, he's having a drink because he's thirsty. There's nothing. He's fairly relaxed. You can see by his trunk is loose, his tail is loose, his ears are flapping because they're pumping blood through them to bring the thin ears, bring blood to the surface. So he flaps his ears to cool his body temperature. There's no more. There's nothing else to it, really. He might be thinking, I wonder what those guys have got over there. Maybe that water's better. Maybe I'll go over there and have a drink in a bit. But we don't know. We can only work with what we've got in. There we go. Oh, don't you just love it when a plan comes together? He's now decided he wants a drink. He's probably going to go over there and get involved with those other elephants. Dogs are the same. Animals are the same. They are emotional. They're emotional, sentient beings, but they do what they do because of how they feel. One of the phrases I use with all of my clients is animals do what they do because of how they feel, either physically or emotionally. Emotions drive behaviour. If an animal's got a behaviour concern, one of the first things I discuss is getting a full veterinary check. Behaviour concerns, certainly in companion animals, are often caused by medical or physical problems, the same as if we see, an unusually aggressive elephant. It's often because they're injured or they've got an infection, or you hear stories of elephants charging cars because, they've snapped a tusk or something like that. So the first port of call is they're doing what they're doing because of how they feel physically or medically. After that, it's because of how they feel emotionally. So an elephant with an aggressive elephant, the first thing would be, is it injured? Is it sick? If it's not, it could be that it just bumped into a bigger bull round the corner who gave him a smack, which has frightened him, and now he's showing aggressive behaviour. Dogs are exactly the same. You rule out medical, physical issues, and then you look at an emotional well-being. If a dog is barking, if it's barking because it's frightened, if it doesn't feel frightened, then it won't bark. It's actually really, really simple. And I've learned a lot of that from watching wild animals. That was a really long way of answering that recycled teenager. But my job is to help humans to understand that. And if humans can understand that, the animals aren't really the problem. Is that a bit harsh? Emotions drive behaviour. Change the emotion and the behaviour changes. But it's our job, our responsibility as guardians of companion animals to ensure those emotions and needs are being met. These elephants, they're meeting their own needs, as long as they...
Hello, I'm James Hendry, and I'd like to take you on a very different kind of safari through the wild heart of Madagascar. In Underseaber, we'll track the Indri's eerie call through misty rainforest. Then it's east on to Masuala, where lemurs leap through the jungle, coral reefs glow beneath the waves, and adventure waits around every bend. Come, let's explore it together.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favorite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa.
The Fortunas over here.
Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
That is brilliant.
Real, you say the best kind of roadblock.
Absolutely. Look at this.
Hello, girls.
I think they do live in that permanent state because they couldn't function. That their bodies wouldn't work. They couldn't reproduce. Imagine something giving birth to. Well, it doesn't happen. When animals give birth, they take themselves off to a sort of quiet location. They're not. They probably physically can't give birth if they're in a state of high anxiety or fight or flight response, because bodies just go, this is not a good time to be doing this. So I hear you. I would certainly be twitchy all the time, but it would be like expecting us to constantly survive, stood on the edge of a bungee jump. It's not. I don't think it would be possible for nature to make that work. I can't believe how much this camera has changed. I didn't even recognise it yesterday. Still, these elephants choosing though to go and drink from that nice inlet. much sweeter, cleaner, more delicious water. But look how relaxed they all are. I've watched it for hours at the Aldonio camera. Huge, big, dominant, as people use in animal terms, dominant bulls. They're just chilling there. They're just, everyone gets a go. If someone shoves someone occasionally, but tons, mega tons of animal, all just chilling and sharing there. We could definitely take a leaf out of their book, I think. Let's leave these gentlemen, and they are gentlemen, sharing so nicely here. Let's go across to Tembo Plains. Another camera I don't recognise. It's just insane how quickly we are getting these amazing new sites. That's it took me ages to work out. I think that's three hippos. Oh, what's that moving through the water behind them? That was weird. That was almost like a magic eye picture then. I saw one hippo, and then another one came into view, and then another one came into view. I'm more interested in that moving stuff behind them though. What is that? I'm assuming this, I don't even know, this is a river, is it? Oh, okay, that makes more sense. That's why the stuff is moving behind them. I thought this was a dam then for a minute. I thought it was something swimming along. Okay, so, excuse me. So this is indeed a river. That would make a lot more sense. All I saw was something moving behind those hippos and thinking, is something creeping up on them? Oh, apparently we get lots of carmine bee-eaters here. They're beautiful birds. Bee-eaters are definitely up there in some of them, the most colourful birds here. Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot to choose from. Ah, there we go. That looked like a carmine bee-eater to me. If you've never seen a carmine bee-eater, seek out a picture. They are beautiful birds. Absolutely glorious colours on them. Phoenix Hodge, you are asking, how long can hippos breathe underwater for? Hippos don't breathe underwater, they hold their breaths. They hold their breath. And they can hold their breath for, depending on which resource you use, I've seen up to 8 minutes, I've seen 5 minutes, but they don't normally stay under for more than, I don't know, a couple of minutes, unless they need to. Their standard rest method is they sort of gently keep their heads on the surface, and they'll lower their heads a bit, and then they just sort of bob up again to take breaths very regularly. These hippos they've got a great spot here though, by the looks of it. A nice sloping bank. enough to get most of their chunky little bodies in the water, as is necessary. Oh, is that... I think that was some more. I thought that was a grebe or something then. A little bit of... Ah, lovely. This is where we are. Bit of flotsam or something floating past on the river. Oh, this is a proper river. Oh, and look, there's that bee-eater. Lovely. Yes, that looks like a carmine bee-eater to me, but that is definitely not giving them credit to those beautiful pinks in their feathers. Oh, but look at them all. These carmine bee-eaters, not only are they beautiful, they're very adept at catching things on the wing. They don't only eat bees. There's been lots of discussions in our industry over, well, there always is, of changes in bird names and who names birds and how some things have absolutely ridiculous names. So yes, they don't only eat bees. But experts at hawking, it, that technique they use of flying and catching things on the wing. Very adept, very agile. Wow, okay, that's a proper river. That's one. That is a. There was me thinking it was Little Pan. That is not a Little Pan. That is a ginormous river with plenty of water in it. Ah, look at them, and they will often look. This one might have caught something. They often, when they catch something, they will bang whatever they've caught. There's another one caught something. They will bash that bug on a stick or a branch to get rid of any wings or stings or things. They don't really want to be eating that. These alates, these emergencies of these alates this time of year would be perfect for these guys. And they do sometimes feed on some of the bigger insects. I have seen, was it a carmine? No, oh, I can't remember if it was a kingfisher or a bee-eater now. It still makes me absolutely cringe. I once watched, I think it was a kingfisher eating a massive spider. It was deeply unpleasant and it was very close and it was banging the spider to get those legs off. But that was quite upsetting. So these guys, they will feed on those termites, dragonflies, butterflies, and they will often smash off the wings and other bits and pieces that aren't full of nutrition. Yes, I believe I've been reliably informed that this is actually on the Zambezi River, so one of the most iconic rivers in Africa, arguably. So yeah, this is not a Little Pan. My bad. Sandy Franklin 69, hello. Welcome. I'm sorry you had to get up early, but I'm very glad you did. Thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. As always, come join us and revel in the bee-eaters. Violet. Wow, I have never heard that either. You are saying adult carmine bee-eaters sometimes kidnap unrelated fledglings and force them to join their family group for weeks. Oh, okay, I've now had an update. It's on the Zambezi, not the Zambezi. Or maybe Zambezi is the Zambezi. Violet, I have never heard that. I have no idea why anyone would want to kidnap a teenager. They're not even functioning adult birds. I've never heard that, Violet. And Lady Macbeth, you're saying lovely to see the bee eaters. I agree, Lady Macbeth. Always lovely to get some nice views of these beautiful carmines. Let's go across to Lantoro. I wonder if we've got any primates there today. We had some monkey drama yesterday that I'd be keen to have a little look at and see if we've got any updates. We have some superb starlings by the looks of it. But Violet, sorry, I've glossed over that a little bit. I've never heard that. Violet, I'm going to add that to my homework list. I've never heard that. Carmine bee eater kidnapped. I think these are superb starlings. That's their actual name, not me just saying they're really good. I'm actually going to look. I'm cheating, Violet. I am going to have a look on my app and see if there's any mention of that. I am checking on my renowned bird app to have a look. I will investigate, but I'm just trying to think of the only. I'm just trying to think of logical reasons that it would happen. The only reasons would really be to help with taking care of young, I suppose, but I don't. There's been no records of cooperative breeding in carmine bee eaters, but it's not impossible because some northern carmine bee eaters will sometimes have helpers during breeding. Would that be a reason to acquire additional support in childcare? I normally look at in behaviour for anything. I normally try and look at the why. Like why is this happening? What is the benefit? What is the reason for this behaviour? Or would there be a reason for this behaviour? Let's head across to Morella. Our superb starlings are departing, and I was hoping to see if we could get any updates on the little vervet monkey from yesterday here, but let's go across to Morella. Oh wow, look, there's grass here as well, that's insane. This was completely bare last time I was here. Look at that, it's like a wash of green carpet now. I'm still trying to think about why birds would want to entice. I suppose another reason would be for genetic diversity, maybe. If those younger birds matured, it would. I don't know. I'm just wildly speculating now, Violet. But I've never heard that. But I'm not saying it's not true. The longer around I've been, I've become increasingly less likely to give hard yeses or nos to things, because invariably someone has seen something that someone else hasn't, or someone else has an alternative explanation of something. I think the world is becoming increasingly less clear-cut in many areas, especially scientific developments. Look at this beautiful pan now. We can indeed quickly go and look at some birds at Lentoro. I will... apparently they've just left. That's sad. I was just about to make a dive for my Birds of Sub-Saharan Africa book. That is absolutely perfect if those birds return. I am all for chasing birds around. Do it on a regular basis. It's one of my hobbies, is chasing birds around. Watching animals and chasing birds around, I think I would list those as definitely as my hobbies. This is let's see if there's any mention of that carmine behaviour in here while I've got it in my hand. Sorry if you can hear books flicking. I do still enjoy a book. So there are northern and southern carmine beetles. So exciting. I have never seen a northern carmine beetle, I don't think. Okay, so that's new information. I didn't know that. The northern carmine beetle has a green throat. Same sort of pinky bluey head, but the southern carmine has that pink throat and the northern has a green throat. There we go. Can't see any. So they do breed colonially, so they group breed, but they don't elicit help. Certainly not the southern carmine beetles. They don't appear to elicit help from others. So yeah, the luring of young birds into their family groups, I have not heard of. Okay. Thank you, Bushman Bee. You are saying also you have heard of cooperative feeding habits where young single bee-eaters help to look after young belonging to unrelated bee-eaters. That would point towards why teenage birds would be lured into their flocks. What it exactly says is apparently monogamous, cooperative breeding not recorded, but closely related northern carmine bee-eaters sometimes have helpers. Breeds mostly in large, dense colonies in sandy banks, erosions, gullies. Now I'm reading development of young. Bushman B, I would love to know where you've heard of that. Possibly the northern carmines and possibly other species of bee eaters or other species of bee eaters. But yeah, I've never heard of it, but I'm totally not saying it wrong. But that would definitely give more clout to why younger birds would be lured by older birds to help with cooperative feeding. And you're also asking, is it true that carmine bee eaters during the breeding season eat sand, snail shells and other calcium-rich items likely to supplement their diet and the needs of their chicks? Possibly. I've never seen a carmine bee eater eating sand, but it's possible. I know lots of birds and lots of animals will supplement diets with different minerals if they're lacking. I would have thought it might be more likely before breeding season if they need calcium to make eggs. But it's possible. I've personally never seen a carmine bee eater eating sand or eggshells, but yeah, it's not impossible at all. Thank you for that, Bushman bee. It's hugely appreciated. And I'm always open to discussions. Anyone with any thoughts or ideas, please don't stop sending them through. It's my favourite thing about this show is being able to chat to other people about different ideas and theories. It's priceless, actually. Santa Franklin 69, is it easier to search for animals in winter or summer? Winter. There we go. We've got an answer. How unusual. Purely because, in my opinion, the vegetation is less. It's easier to see an animal when there's less greenery and branches and grass in the way than when everything is thick and dense. Penelope Kenyon, you are saying we'll have to get John Kinghorn on board to solve this. We can happily ask John Kinghorn. I've been using. I'm always so reticent now about what resources to use because it's just a minefield out there. And as I say, I will often use textbooks, but some textbooks are, some of my textbooks are multiple years old. I think my behaviour book is sort of 15 years old, and I'm sure we've seen all sorts of new things since that was published. Or I will use peer-reviewed papers, but there's so much information flying around in things now, it can be very difficult to tell. But we do have quite a good network of experts in their fields. There are many exceptional avian scientists, for want of a better word. We've got geological specialists, we've got arthropod specialists, we've got tracking specialists, and it's nice to be able to use that network of people to reach out and find out things that we otherwise don't know the answers to. And Penelope Kenyon, some bee eaters feed others chicks, and yes, some of the bee eaters do. I'm just not sure if it's been recorded in the southern carmine bee eater, but it might have been. We can happily reach out and get more information. Look at this lovely lush lawn. Let's go across to Menno in Botswana and see who we have got across there. Melanistic marble, hi. Now we're in front of an elephant. Yes, I did answer the question about elephant gametes from yesterday. I handed my homework in early so I didn't forget. The result was that many mammals have similar sized gametes. So gametes being the reproductive cells, for want of a better word, so eggs and sperm. Lots of mammals have a relatively similar sized gamete arrangement because of similar reproductive strategies. The biggest egg is the ostrich. Lots of lizards, birds will have larger eggs in inverted commas than others that develop internally. And the largest sperm belonged to I believe one of the fruit flies. So there we go. That was the gamete feedback from yesterday.
Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Some ellies that we're approaching now.
The light on her as well is absolutely gorgeous.
So we are going to enjoy the rest of this sunset.
Wow, this is absolutely crazy.
And thank you for joining us. For myself and Cam, we will see you next time.
I originally passed my first guiding exam in 2012, which is quite a long time ago, and I'm sure lots of the information has been revised in there significantly since then. But that is the joy of the constant knowing, constant growing, and constant evolution of the information that we have access to. But yeah, I become increasingly concerned about using things unless they're from an incredibly reliable resource. Let's go back across to Lantoro. By the way, anyone that says elephants don't climb hills, this is evidence this is incorrect. I've seen elephants, some super hikers. We've got our baboons back. There is lots of primate, there's baboons and monkeys. Very interesting monkey behaviour we were watching here yesterday. And I think the baboons came in quite soon after the monkeys left. Maybe the monkey departure was related to the baboon entry. Lovely sounds. The birds are busy everywhere at the moment. It is actually, it's not as, judging by what I can see with my actual eyes at the moment, it's definitely not as busy here bird-wise as it was yesterday, but it's a bit hotter today. Let's go across to King's Camp and we will see who we have got visiting. We'll see if our lizard friend is still there, believed to be rock monitor, but I wanted to double check. Our elephants are back, that's excellent. Lovely to see these elephants. Oh, what a lovely scene, the blue skies and the green of the summer. Sorry, I went a bit quiet then. I've been checking, or between us, we have been reaching out to various people around the theft of southern carmine bead chicks, and we still haven't found anything that confirms this. Bushman bee, wow, okay. I'm actually just going to read this out. We're getting into some high-end science stuff here, which is delightful, and it makes a lovely change from just weights and running speeds. Let's go back to Lentora so we can watch our baboons while I'm literally just gonna read this out, which will be, because this is fascinating. You're going back to the snail shells that may or may not be eaten. Ah, look at these lovely drinking baboons. Please watch these drinking baboons while I talk about snail shells. Here is what kind of snail shells I believe they eat: the freshwater snails that act as intermediate hosts for the Stictosma parasite, which causes bilharzia, are generally small, with specific species ranging in size from 5mm to 25mm in shell height or diameter. You studied wildlife many years ago with much help from the late Viv Wilson Chepangali Wildlife Centre near Bulawayo. And the Bulawayo Natural History Museum entomologist. Yeah, that's way above my pay grade. Bushman bee, and they may well do. You have clearly done more. You have a better depth of knowledge on these type of snails than I currently possess. So thank you very much for sharing. Sanjeev Roy, I assume you meant those beautiful elephants and that lovely blue skyline. Yes, that was definitely a Show Me Africa type picture. Absolutely stunning. And Spas, it is lovely being able to watch those elephants there at King's Camp. I love the way these baboons and Verisla often, it's almost like they come for a lunchtime drink in the heat of the day. I wonder if they then go off and find a nice, cool, shady area to go and have a rest in. I do enjoy. Oh, look at that little one stretching. Oh, that little one doesn't want to go close to the water, hey? Look how he's got his... See how that young one, probably very instinctive, ingrained, waters can be dangerous. Keeping those back. Oh, is that young one just reaching forward as well? I actually saw a clip. We saw a clip a few days ago of baboons having a blast swimming in a dam. Let's head across to Serengeti quickly and see what's happening, and then we'll come back and have a look at these baboons having a drink. I'm just untangling myself. I've got bird books on my legs and things. Ah, look at this. What a beauty. It's all about the birds today. I actually had a lovely view of a woodland kingfisher being shouted at by loads of flycatchers yesterday. These and the baby impalas are definitely the main signs of summer for most of us. Beautiful, beautiful bright colours on these birds. Easily identifiable, this bright orange top of the beak and the dark underneath. You can hear the bee-eaters calling. Click, 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 click. Hey, wait, he might come back. Don't go. Let's see if he comes back again. Kingfishers will often fish from the same perch. Can we just stay here for a few more seconds? Bee-eaters and kingfishers are known. They will often go and grab something out of the water and then come back. But it's a risk saying that and trying to do it with a live camera. But you never know. You just never know. Okay, there we can go. I thought he might come back again. Beautiful view of this woodlands kingfisher, and they are shouting their heart out. But it was very interesting. Thank you for coming back to those baboons. But I watched yesterday. There was bulbuls and paradise flycatchers and southern black flycatchers all chasing or all mobbing a woodlands kingfisher that was quietly sitting there in a tree. And I thought briefly that there might have been a snake up there, but I spent a while sort of scouting around trying to work out what it was, and the kingfisher was just sitting there quietly. And I worked out that it was indeed the kingfisher that was getting so much abuse from all the other birds. I'm not sure. I suppose, they might eat lizards. Oh, okay, and they would eat chicks of birds. I don't think I knew that. What if these woodland kingfishers will eat red-billed quelea and black-collared barbet chicks? That would explain why that kingfisher was in so much trouble yesterday. That's news to me. Wow, my brain is going to explode. There's been a lot. My brain is going to explode today. There's a lot going on. Look at these little ones going about their family business. I find this really peaceful. This I could watch this all day. Look at that little one. Look. I feel like I can see them thinking. Oh, where's they gone? What are those birds? Are they dangerous? I might just stay with the grown-up. What's that? Oh, this is delicious. I'm going to sit here and eat this. That was a bit of a shove. Oh, I love it. Like really watch to understand, not just look. We've definitely been seeing these primates come here, or these baboons come for their lunchtime drinks, and they come and they hang out for a bit, and then they make themselves scarce and head off out for the rest of their day. I really enjoy this Lantoro camera. Oh, look. Lovely view of this. It's I think we've had another name change. Greenbacked heron, striated heron, and then I heard someone 2 days ago say it's now called might be called a little heron again. And, no, that's not a striated heron. Hold on, I'm going to have to change books. We're in a different country, aren't we? I'm going to have to change books again. And this looks like a different heron to me. Yeah, so I believe the striated heron was a greenback heron, then striated heron, and now might have gone to a little heron. Ooh, that would be lovely. I'm going to continue to check this out. My gut wants to call it a striated heron, but I need to check it. Let's go over to Stony Point. It's been a long time since I've had a look at Stony Point, and we might have some baby... Oh my goodness, if we've got baby ducks, it's going to make me very happy. Oh my goodness, is that a suckling dussie? If that's a suckling dussie, I have never seen a suckling dussie before. let's just watch. I am going to keep checking this heron in my book. I have never seen a suckling dussie before. I think I'm going to revert to a bittern on that shout of my heron. I didn't even think of bittern. But let's just appreciate for a moment the fact that we are causing so little disturbance that we have been able to witness a suckling dussie. Yep, I'm changing my call to a dwarf bittern. That was not a striated heron at all. That was a dwarf bittern. I didn't even think of a bittern. Anyway, enough birds and books for now. Whew. That little one snoozing. It's obviously we know dussies are mammals, but I don't know, it just feels weird seeing them suckle to me. Look at this little family.
Join me at Mabula Private Game Reserve from 6 to 11 May 2026 for a 5-night private safari for just 6 guests. Just incredibly exciting. Enjoy guided walks, take part in rhino conservation efforts, and explore Mabula's beautiful landscapes from open plains to rocky hills, alive with birds, animals, and vibrant plant life.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Columba in the 2 cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure. Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
Sensible. And I think they'll only suckle till they're about 4 or 5 months. So we know these young ones we just saw, still quite young. Just finding their cute little feet. Well, she maybe got 3 there. I'm struggling a bit with that white. Is that a third one? Is there another one behind her, or is it just the 2 there? At Bushman B, thank you. Yeah, thank you for sending the information in. I am always open to learning and discussing the finer details of all things nature. Absolutely love it. Baboons are fascinating. Yeah, they can definitely differentiate between humans, males and females, and very, very human-like. I think that's why I enjoy watching them so much. And if Bushman B, I'm sure you will agree, everything in nature has its place and a place for everything. You're right, baboons do play a super important role in the dispersal of seeds. And I'm sure as we get a better understanding of science and nature, and we get more insight, we're going to realise other things that we didn't even think of thinking about. Other things that have vital roles in ecosystems that 5 years ago we would have had absolutely no knowledge of. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. I like that. I say the same. You say every day in the bush is a learning day. I always say every day is a school day. And when it ceases to be that way, then what a very sad day that is. Spass, so cute seeing these dussies. I agree. It's an absolute pleasure. And you thought you heard a wagtail. I missed that wagtail calling, unfortunately, but I would support you in this, and I'm glad they've made your day across at Stony Point. Wildlife Lady, I'm glad you have enjoyed today's live at the Waterhole. Thank you very much for joining us, and I also thank FC and all the Zoomies for the brilliant work that they do. A recycled teenager, UK, I love your name. It's an absolute pleasure. It's great to be here. Thank you for also joining in the show. I love it when people get involved, and yeah, it's a discussion, not a lecture. It's my favourite thing. How boring would it be if I just sat here and told you things for 2 hours? I'm glad you are enjoying it. Penelope Kenyon, what a great show. It's so much to take in. Right, my brain is a bit full today, but how amazing. How amazing. Imagine just bumbling through life without opening your mind and thinking, I don't like the phrase thinking outside the box, but opening your mind and learning new things and listening to new perspectives. And there's a penguin in there as well, having a little snooze. But yeah, today's was engaging, should we say? It was very engaging for me as well today, Penelope Kenyon. And you were saying thank you to the Zoomies, chatters and friends, and to me, thank you very much for being here, Penelope Kenyon. Always a pleasure. But yeah, there was a lot in the last 2 hours. I might have to go and have a little sit down. See, this is what I was saying earlier about my theory. This is why humans need to sleep as much and for as long. Whereas those zebras, they were just happily napping, probably thinking, a bit hot. They weren't thinking, oh, maybe I should go and do some more research about the intricacies of northern and southern carmine bee to breeding habits. And I think this is why our human brains go, no, enough. But yeah, it's been fun-filled. And a great pleasure and an honour to be able to share these amazing things with everyone. hope you all have a wonderful rest of Saturday. Well, a wonderful rest and a wonderful rest of Saturday. I have some seeds I've been trying to grow of indigenous trees and plants, but the labels on everything have washed off in the rain, so I don't know what any of them are, so I might also be doing some research into which of my seeds have or have not germinated. Life goals. I will be back again on Monday, technology and everything else allowing. And I will be doing my homework, which for today is, can animals, I want to do that, I think that's brilliant. I definitely want to do some more reading around animals and mirror understanding. I'm going to investigate female hippos pushing their babies underwater and then only letting them up to breathe when they're strong enough. They are my homeworks. Stand by for updates. Have a lovely rest of Saturday, rest of weekend, and I will be talking to you again soon. Bye bye.